Don't forget to check out my Patreon where we have exclusive content for groups such as Twice, 17, Red Velvet, Blackpink, NCT, Super M, Shiny, AT, Stray Kids, and so much more, along with K-dramas, concerts, and other variety shows.
Hey guys, Angie here, and today I'm doing a little something different. I was gonna say Disney, but that's true, but I love PIXAR. I love PIXAR. I love Disney. I do, but there's something about PIXAR I love more. And ironically, I don't know why it just clicked to me. I'm wearing Stitch, but Stitch is technically Disney. So, what a fail. What a fail. This outfit's a fail. I feel like I need to change. I feel like I didn't. Oh well. Oh well. Who cares? This works too. I'll look, but I don't think I have anything that would work for. I have a lot of Toy Story shirts, but oh wait, I have a Monsters Inc. one. I'll just stick with Stitch. I'll stick with Stitch. I decided to do this because I watch so many like ranking videos and I like seeing everyone's opinions, and I feel like age has a lot to do with it. I'm born October 30th, 1998. So, my age is really weird because I feel as though I should like Disney more than Pixar. But I think I'm on that cusp of, it's raining if you hear thunder. I'm on that cusp of like Toy Story just came out. And I guess as I was a toddler, that was popping. So my mom probably just bought a lot of Pixar stuff. That's what I'm assuming, because my cousin is 5 years older, and I feel like she leans more towards Disney. I also think it has to do with our personalities. I was not like other girls. I didn't watch a lot of princess movies. I'm so different. No, not really. Like, I didn't pick the movies. That's the thing. That's the weird thing. I don't recall picking the movies until I was probably like 7. And then I think I remember having more like opinions. But it was just whatever my parents bought me. And I don't remember watching tons of movies in general until I got a little older, because we didn't have like cable and stuff until I was like 10. At least I don't remember having a lot of cable. I'd watch a lot of like those channels that had Arthur and stuff. So it wasn't until I became like 10 years old and stuff that I watched things on Disney as they played on Disney. So this is going to be very nostalgia focused. This is not a ranking of like critiquing the movies. This is my opinion. This is opinionated. This is heavily emotionally influenced. I already know my favorite movie. I've mentioned it if you watch my K-pop videos. So I mentioned a lot of this movie. 2 movies I think I mentioned a lot. And despite my age and despite nostalgia, I'm not blinded. I don't have nostalgia goggles fully on. You'll see. Because we'll go through it. Let's just do it. Let me get the screen recording going. I am also very what's the word? I'm very like focused. Like I love something, I love it. It's very rare that I change my mind when it comes to movies. It's not as though I get older and like something more or less. I feel like I'm consistent with what I like and what I don't like. I've tried to change my mind on some things, and we'll get to those movies, but I'm definitely particular. So, don't worry though. I don't hate any of we'll see. 99% of these movies, I don't hate them. And I will, if they're your favorite movie, go off. Go off, Queen. Go off, King. Like, that's fine. But there's definitely, like, life stuff that, like, made me miss movies and things. We'll get to them. I wanted these in order of release. Is there one where they're, like, in order of release? Because, record. This is the one I have, but I don't like this one. Because it doesn't, like, it's not in order. I'll try to do them in order, but I might be wrong. So, the first one is Toy Story, right? Toy Story was the first one. Where is it? Okay. Toy Story. So, Toy Story came out before I was born, right? God, okay. Because I think Toy Story 2. PIXAR movies. Order. Oh yeah, it was before. Okay, here we go. We'll do it. Okay, yes, Toy Story was first. So, oops. Okay, so, Toy Story. I love Toy Story. I don't think I've ever met a person who doesn't love Toy Story. Now, people debate the best one. I think I rewatched Toy Story so many times. I actually still have my VHS tapes. I think they got water damage, but I kept them for nostalgia purposes. I have the VHS tapes, and I used to have, this is me so much of my life story, because, like, my life is definitely based on Pixar movies. Okay, so I had this DVD/VHS tape player until I was probably like 14. I think we still have it, but yeah, until I was 14, which I know, like, we just didn't have that much money, so and it worked, so, and you could still play DVDs. But for a long time, I just watched the VHS tape, and I would remember having to rewind it to rewatch it, and I just have nostalgia from that. So I love Toy Story. Woody's a dick, but, like, also Buzz Lightyear is one of my favorite characters in Pixar. I love Buzz Lightyear so much. He's one of my favorite characters ever. Ugh, I haven't seen Lightyear yet. I'm not scared to watch it. I'm actually pretty curious. I don't like that it's not Buzz, though. Like, it's like, I hate that it's not his character. I wish we had one with his character from, like, Toy Story, like, his focused story. But I guess it wouldn't work because he doesn't have our Buzz doesn't have, like, he basically was born in the first movie, if you think about it, because he was in a box the whole time. So he doesn't have we couldn't get a prequel for him. And I guess a sequel for him would be kind of weird, because we'll get to Toy Story 4. But I would say it's a great movie. There's nothing wrong with the movie. And I like it's a friendship movie. I don't know if it's me. I find it kind of rare that there's movies based on two male leads that are friends. I'm probably wrong about that. No, actually, as I'm watching, that's a lie. That's a bold lie. I'm wrong. See, we can admit mistakes. I would put it in A. You know what? I'll put it in S. So what I'm going to do is, they'll be in order here too. You'll see. Like, it'll be very much, like, there might be a movie before or after it, and we're literally ranking them. So next is Bug's Life. I have no correlation with Bug's Life. I don't even know if I've ever finished the movie. I think I've tried to, but I don't even know the main character's name. Is there like I don't have anything against it. I just don't remember it. So I'm sure I've watched it. I don't have it on VHS. I guess my mom's like, she doesn't like bugs. She won't want to watch this. So I have no recollection of it. I'm going to put it in C just because I don't know. There's no haven't seen it list because they assume we've seen them all. I've seen all these. I've seen Bug's Life. Like, I've seen it. But I think even when it was on Disney, which I don't think it was often, I wouldn't watch it. I don't think I just don't remember it. All I remember is like there's like a little purple baby bug. So, Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 is one of the best movies in cinema history. I have watched Toy Story 2 more than Toy Story. Toy Story 2 introduced one of my favorite female characters, Jessie. I had a Jessie doll, and I don't know where it went. I think we lost it in storage, and I'm very upset about it. And I've been trying to look for like a Jessie doll, not a Jessie sculpture like action figure, the doll, like how, like from the movie, like actual Jessie doll. It's very hard to find. I had thought they would be at like Walmart stuff, but they're not. I'll have to, like, if I ever go to New York again, I would have to look at the Disney store. But when I went last time, the upstairs was closed, and that's where all the good stuff is. So Toy Story 2 has, to me, the best story. I feel like it made me like Woody more. It has the funniest jokes. We meet Barbie. Love that. Bo Peep is actually really good in that movie. I feel like she shines more. We have a lot of Slinky. I just felt like all the characters shine more here because in the first movie we were very focused on meeting Buzz and their dynamic, and everyone's kind of an asshole in that movie, including Mr. Potato Head. Like, everyone was a jerk except Buzz. Buzz was fine. Buzz was great. I feel like in Toy Story 2, everyone's likable. Rex is cute. We go to the Altoids barn. Like, it was just such a good movie. Jessie's song's beautiful. We get the history of Woody, and I feel like they didn't have that history planned. Like, I don't think that was a planned thing. So I think the fact that it works so well, and it was probably made up as they went, works beautifully. Like, they made a backstory that didn't sway the plot, which was great. So, see, Toy Story 2 is above Toy Story for me. Now let's go to... Already? Monsters, Inc. Where is it? Is my favorite movie ever. Like, Monsters, Inc. was my first movie in theaters. My mom said that. I'm gonna trust her. I would assume, because it came out in 2002, right? 2001. I was 3. Also, it was probably for my a birthday present, because it was a few days after, so that makes sense. That was my first movie in theaters, apparently. And she told me, I wasn't with her, I was with my dad. I went with my dad, and she told me at the end of the movie, I stood up, and I was like, is it over? Like, already? Which I think is really cute. I can imagine my dad being like, and she always said I looked like Boo when I was little, and she would put my hair in pigtails like Boo. Like, I guess I wanted to look like Boo. I love Monsters, Inc. I have all the little Funko Pops up here. It's the best movie. It's so creative. Like, Toy Story is creative in the sense of dolls coming alive, but that's like where it ends, basically. Like, Monsters, Inc., it's literally... I felt like that Toy Story was simple. It was a simple movie. Monsters, Inc. is so complex, but it's not crazy thinking either. It's simple enough for kids to, like, see how imaginative it is, and, like, the whole concept's so cool. Like, you don't think of things like that. It's just such a creative idea. I love every character in the movie, too. Like, Toy Story, Mr. Potato Head annoys me a lot. But, like, Monsters, Inc., I also understand all sides of their story, except Randall. He's evil. But, like, I understand... For, like, Toy Story, I understand Woody's side, but he just comes off like a jerk. And he comes off very immature. So for, like, Monsters, Inc., neither of them come off immature until they have that little fight. But, like, it's an understandable fight. And I feel like I understand Mike's side, and I understand Sully's side. And throughout the movie, they're consistent with their sides of the story. Like, Mike is still like, hey, we need to get her, just like, we have to let her go, you know, like, this isn't our responsibility. And it's not. But we also understand Sully's side, where he's more attached to Boo. So it makes sense that he doesn't want to just like leave her. But like to Mike, he doesn't know how kids work. Like he doesn't understand that she is basically like them. Like so it's understandable. And I like that Celia is very subtle of a character, but she's a bad bitch. Like she's there for her boy. And like I like that Mike is a good boyfriend in the little scenes we've seen. Like he is truly a great boyfriend, and he wants to explain things but he can't, and that's like such a tiny plot, but they put a lot of depth into that relationship that I love that relationship. And Celia, she's mad at him, but she's still there for him. Like she defends him and like helps even though she doesn't understand the situation. And then when she saw Boo, she's like, what the heck? But she's also like, that's my man, I have to help him. And I love it. Love it so much. I had these little figurine toys, and I remember going to the bowling alley, and I remember my dad buying those for me, and I remember we were bowling together, and I remember playing with those toys, even though I was probably like 4. Like I shouldn't remember that much of it, but like it sticks out to me a lot. And it's kind of, me and my dad say like Monsters Inc. is our movie, so whenever I see him, we watch this movie. And same with Lilo and Stitch, like those two are our movies. Best movie ever, nothing's gonna top it. Anywho, Finding Nemo's weird because I watched Finding Nemo so much. I watched the little narrative thing, like where the directors talk about it over the movie, and I know so many like weird facts about it, but it's, in hindsight, it's pretty simple. And when I rewatch it as I'm older, I notice how empty a lot of it is, but it's not bad. I like it. I just think like it's weird because when I watch other people rank Finding Nemo, I actually find that a lot of people don't love it as much as I thought everyone did. Like I thought this was a classic, but it seems like people put it pretty low in the ranking. I feel like Finding Nemo is iconic. Everyone references it. It's literally in aquariums. Like every aquarium I've been to, but like every aquarium I've been to, there's like some type of reference of Finding Nemo there. Everyone quotes it. Everyone knows jokes of it. Like it's Monsters Inc. I feel like people put it higher, but I feel like unless you're like me and a diehard Monsters Inc. fan, you probably don't quote it a lot. I quote it all the time. My mom hates me because when I watch Monsters Inc., which is, I at least watch it with her at least once a year, but like myself, I watch it so much. I narrate the whole thing. I quote that from beginning to end. I can go the whole movie quoting it, and it's annoying, but I love it so much. But Finding Nemo has actual quotes that people reference often. Like sharks eat fish are friend, not food. Shark bait, hoo ha ha. Just keep swimming. Like all those mine. Like people reference it so much. Even people who probably haven't seen the movie know references. I feel like Monsters Inc. doesn't have that iconicness in the term of quotes. And that's why I thought Finding Nemo had more to it. And I watched it so much. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I haven't seen this movie in years. I probably watched Finding Nemo a few months ago. I have never gone, like, a year without seeing at least these movies all once. Like, I only really watch PIXAR movies. And yeah, like, but, like, it's more like I put it on, but I'm not, like, sitting and watching it unless it's Monsters, Inc. But I don't remember how much emptiness was in it. I'll put it here. It's good. It's iconic, but it doesn't grab, like, it's not like I put it on the background and I end up sitting and watching it the whole time. It's more like it'll just stay in the background. Monsters Inc., if I put it on just to put it on, I'll end up watching the whole thing. That's how it usually works. The Incredibles is another one I quoted. I did not realize my mom, so like I lived with my dad and then I lived with my mom, and there's like a lot of stuff that happened. So like Monsters Inc. until probably like Ratatouille, I was with my dad. Like I lived with my mom, but I was with my dad a little more, or at least I don't know, that it's such a blank time in my life. All I remember is these movies. But I guess I watched Incredibles with my dad. I didn't see it in theaters. The only movie out of these so far that I've seen in theaters was Monsters Inc. Incredibles, I guess eventually he bought it on DVD. So Incredibles, I had the coloring books. I had the game for the Game Boy. I had little figurines. I loved drawing Violet a lot, I guess. My gay show there. I loved The Incredibles. I love it to this day. Another movie that I quote. So I didn't realize, I guess I didn't watch this movie with my mom a lot. I watched it with my dad. Because when I watched it for Christmas, the last Christmas, we were decorating and I put on The Incredibles while we were decorating. Because I like to watch movies. We like to put movies, family movies on while we're watching, as we're decorating and like setting things up for Christmas. I quoted the whole thing and she looked at me like I was crazy. Like she did not know I knew this movie like the back of my hand. Like I was quoting it. I read the script basically, like the whole thing, the interview portions, like I was on that movie. I love The Incredibles. As a kid, and to this day, I don't like superhero movies. I only like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. All of them. Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire. I watched the Tobey Maguire, the first two, so many times. I think it was a weird part of my life when the third one came out. I've only seen that one like once until recently. And then I like Tom Holland. So I only watch Spider-Man. I don't watch any of the other Avenger movies. And I can still understand the plot because like I like, it's so ingrained in culture that I can usually get what's going on because it's just everywhere. And besides The Incredibles, the only superhero like genre of things that I like is Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So when I was a kid, those were like the only superhero things that I liked. And The Incredibles was one of them. I felt like it's the perfect mixture of comedy, family, and superhero-ness. Also, I think I liked Fantastic Four a lot. I like that. And X-Men? But I only like the game. So, The Incredibles, quote it, love it, die for it. Unpopular opinion, Cars. I was like such a tomboy when I was little, so I guess it's because I lived with my dad, but I still loved like Bratz and stuff. Like I still liked girly things, but I was like pretty equal. I feel like most kids are. It's just sometimes you lean one way or the other. I also mainly had like boyfriends, so like because when I was little, the neighborhood I lived in had mainly male kids, so I had a friend who was a boy. He was like my best friend. And then I had an older girl across the street. So like I'd play Bratz with her. And then like I'd play like Pokemon stuff with him. That's how it usually went. And I loved Cars. I guess because of my dad. I'm assuming that's why. Maybe he was like, ooh, we should watch this. I think he wanted a boy. I really think he did. So that's probably why. But I love Cars. I can quote Cars. I had a Cars toy. I had a Cars blanket set. I had the like more controllable one. I never knew people who didn't like Cars. Like I would be out here going ka-chow, cha-ching. Like I would be like doing that all the time. When I was a kid, I like Cars. I'll put it here though. Finding Nemo's better. I just loved Cars. I liked Mater's Tall Tales. Like, I got so excited whenever that was on TV, even as I got older. I can quote those as well. I remember it would be like 10 p.m. and that would be playing, and I just remember that so much. I remember watching the iCarly Christmas special and then going to Disney Channel after, and I remember I think one of them premiered. Like, I don't know. I remember all that. Ratatouille. So I think this is when I didn't watch PIXAR. Like, this is when I think this is when life situations happened and we could not afford stuff. So, from Ratatouille to Up, I wasn't, like, actively going, like, watching movies, I guess. And I think I just had like these like VHS tapes and DVDs. So like I think by the time we got here, I wasn't able to really keep up with Disney things. I also think I was at that age where like I don't know if it's just me. I didn't know movies were coming out. Like I was how old? 9? I wasn't waiting for movies. I was watching like Nickelodeon and Disney and Cartoon Network. Like I was out here like, ooh, when's the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend episode coming out? Like I don't even think I was waiting for things to come out as a kid. I think I was just like, whatever's like I wasn't like, oh, I need to see the new episode. I just watched what was on TV. Like I didn't know new episodes were a thing. I just thought everything was kind of new. I don't know. Does that make sense? So I didn't see Ratatouille when it came out. I don't know when I saw it, but I remember at some point I watched it. Maybe it was on. It was whenever Disney Channel played it, and I loved it as a kid. I feel like people were like, "Oh, I didn't like it till I was older," but I liked it as a kid. I don't know why. I think I just liked Remy a lot, and I had like a stuffed animal of him that I won. Well, my stepdad won at a claw machine. And funnily enough, the restaurant that I got that stuffed animal from, I now work at, so that's funny. And yeah, I like it. I don't like it as much as everyone else, I think, but I like it. Like, it'll go here. I like the characters. Forgot the French girl's name. Like her. See, if I can't name the characters, that's a problem. I know Sally and stuff from Cars. I don't remember her name, but I liked her. I mainly like to quote the thumb thing, like, I killed the man with his thumb, like, I like to quote that. But yeah, I liked it as a kid too, but it'll go here. Now we have WALL-E. This is where we get controversial. I don't like WALL-E. I don't like WALL-E. I'm so sorry. I've tried so hard to like this movie. I tried so hard to understand why everyone likes the movie. I understand why everyone does, but I don't relate to that sentiment. I don't like the movie. Like, and I feel bad about it. Like, I feel like everyone has such an enigma with this movie, and I'm just out here like, I don't know why people love it. And I want to be on that side. I want to love it as much as you do. You watching, I guarantee you're mad at me. I want to like it. I want to watch it and feel things. I've fallen asleep during this movie. I've never finished the movie. I watched the beginning, and I watched the ending. I've seen the whole thing, just I can never finish it all in one go. I don't know. WALL-E's cute. He's a cute character. I guess I just don't like robots. I've never really liked robots though. So I'm gonna blame that. I don't like robots. I don't like space stuff really either. Unless it's aliens. Like, but robots in space, I guess I'm gonna say that's the reason. I like the first like 20 minutes. And even then, I'm kind of stretching when I say I like it. I think the first 20 minutes are cute. Is that when he meets Eve and stuff? And they're like, he has his little pot with the little flower. Like, I can quote it. I know moments from it. I just don't like it that much. Like, I really don't. And I feel bad. I feel like I'm missing something that everyone else loves. And it makes me feel horrible. Because WALL-E is like some people's favorite Pixar movie. Like, it's, even if it's not their favorite, they always put it like here. Like, people love WALL-E. People have such raving things to say about it. And then here I am, like, it's boring. And it's not boring because it's quiet and stuff. Because I like a lot of movies like that. It's just nothing happens in this movie. Like, and the things that do happen in the ending is just, I feel like, where the hell did that come from? So is that fair? Like, my mind goes here, but I at least know more about it, so we'll put it here. Like, I know more about it than Bug's Life. Like, if I watch A Bug's Life, it'll probably go here, but we'll put it there. Okay, so let's move on. Up. I didn't see Up when it came out. I think I saw it like a year later. I I liked Up as a kid, and I still like it the same amount, but I don't watch it that much. I don't think I've ever watched it. I think this is the one Pixar movie where I haven't seen it in a while, besides these two. But I don't like those movies that much, so I'll put it here. There's not much to say about it. Of course, the first 20 minutes are amazing cinematically, but like even I definitely got sad during it, but and I agree. But like now that I rewatch it, I don't care. Like it doesn't make it better. I like Russell. I like Doug. He's probably my favorite part of the movie. Doug. But I don't know. I don't. It's fine. It's fine. I think it's cute, and I would definitely like if I have a kid, I'll watch it with them. Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3. That's my first Pixar movie I watched in theaters that I remember. I remember the whole day. I remember going to the theater. I remember crying in the theater. Even my stepdad cried. I remember dying of laughter. I remember when my favorite Pixar ship happened. I remember Jessie and Buzz. I remember when it happened. I mean, they were teased at the end of Toy Story 2, but now they're canon. They're canon. My only Pixar ship, actually, kind of like, yeah. Oh wait, Celia and Mike Wazowski, but like they're canon already, so it's kind of different. But like, I remember as a kid, I remember the end of Toy Story 2, and I remember people were shipping like Woody and Jessie, and I just thought it was weird because I think they're siblings. I don't think it's like canon that they're siblings, but I always saw them as siblings. But like, I remember crying. I remember afterwards, that's when I got my Jessie doll. That's when I got it. We went to Walmart at like midnight, and I got a Jaden Smith t-shirt from the Karate Kid, and I got a Jessie doll. I remember. Yeah. It has some of my favorite scenes ever. Like, the whole daycare sequence is amazing. I love that whole part of the movie. The jailbreak scene. Love it. Bonnie is adorable in it. Woody kind of annoys me, but whatever. Been there. We've known that. I would say I actually watched it more than Toy Story. But I think now I watch Toy Story more than Toy Story 3. Does that make sense? Like, when that movie came out and whenever I got the DVD, whenever that happened, I watched Toy Story 3 more. But I think it's because for a while I only had Toy Story 2 and Toy Story. And of course I watch Toy Story 2 the most. Like, to this day if I'm wanting to watch Toy Story, I watch Toy Story 2. But once I got this DVD, I watched this the most. Now I watch Toy Story the most. I think because Toy Story has such an interesting plot. Toy Story 3 does too, but I think I burned it out for a little bit. But I'm still going to put it above because I still like it more than Toy Story. Because I love the characters. I like, once again, we get more scenes with the characters. I feel like unless Woody and Buzz are like your alt favorites, a lot of my favorite characters are like the side characters. I like Buzz. I like Jessie. I like Slinky. I like Rex. I like Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head now. We get the little creatures. A lot of people hate how many characters there are, but I love all the characters. So I actually love seeing them. I like scenes with them. We get so much like side stories, and they all like make sense, and they drive the plot for a reason. So yeah, I would say it's above. Cars 2, we don't even need to talk about it. It's just there. And it's not because of unpopular opinion. I have seen Cars 2 a few times, and I just don't like spy movies. That's the only reason I don't like it. I don't mind that Mater's the main character. I do think they could have named it a different thing. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, we'll get to it. So there are movies where the side character being the main character isn't a big issue, but there's a reason it works. Here, they should have named it Mater's Spy Adventure or something, like, I don't know, or just call it Mater. Then I think it could have been here. False advertisement. That's why. I don't mind the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just the way it's advertised is bad. That's where I think if it was named Mater, people wouldn't have as much complaints. And I saw it in theaters. I saw that in theaters. I saw Cars 2 in theaters too. I've seen, oh my god, from Toy Story 3 forward, I've seen nearly all of these in theaters, because I think this is when I was a teenager. So I was 13. I saw Cars 2 only because my cousin wanted to see it, and he's like 8. Wait, no, he was like 4. I'm so sorry. He was like 4. God, I'm old. And I liked Cars, so I was like, I didn't know this movie was coming out though. I don't remember. I don't think I did. So I was like, oh, I love Cars, and he was crying the whole time and stuff, so he ruined the movie for me. But I don't remember much of it anyways, so that's interesting. But yeah, Cars was... I saw that in theaters. I saw Brave in theaters. I watched Brave in theaters. What a waste of money. I went to see it with my friends. I think this is the first time I saw like a movie with friends besides the Justin Bieber movie. And we went to the cinema cafe, so it was like a different type of experience. And we went like alone. Like this is when I was like able to go alone to the movies. And I mean, to be honest, we weren't paying much attention because it's a cinema cafe, so it's a little more like you can talk and stuff. But the fact that we talked most of the time is because of how boring it was. Like that goes to show. It was a trash movie. I don't care. I've rewatched it like twice since then, because I remember we were just like, what the fuck's going on? Because like she was a bear suddenly, like, and I think that's most people's complaints. Once again, it's the advertising. The advertising from Up, Cars 2, and Brave was weird. I don't know what the marketing team was doing during this time. Brave is worse than Cars 2 in my opinion. She's annoying. Her brothers are annoying. The mom's a bitch. The dad's an absentee father. No one's likable in the movie. That's the issue. You can argue Mater's annoying, but if you go in with the right mindset, he's the same character. So you knew what you were getting into, basically, if they marketed right. But Brave, she's annoying. I don't like her. I don't feel bad for her. I also don't feel bad for the mom. Who am I supposed to like in this movie? Merida's the most annoying princess ever. I hate the whole marriage thing. I thought and it's more annoying because they're blatantly trying to go against what they used to do, but it just comes off as ignorant still. Like, there's just, I don't know. I don't like anything about the movie. I can't like a single thing. It looked good. Her hair was pretty, but it just bothered me, and it bothered me even more because it was like outside of America, and we finally got like accents and stuff, and she's not just like a American accent in Scotland like some movies do. Like she has a Scottish accent. I actually really thought that was charming, but I don't know. She's just annoying. I will never show my kids this movie. If they end up finding it and liking it, that's fine, but I won't watch it with them. Monsters University. I loved it. I liked this movie. Now, we're gonna go on the defense because most people say they don't hate the movie, they just don't think it was necessary. I agree, but a lot of sequels and prequels aren't necessary. So, I think considering they did it really well. A lot of people think Sully was out of character, and I'm like, yes, this is pre-character development. I actually think like I didn't sit through this movie. I was 15 during this time, turning 15. You know, at this point I have perspective of characters, and I can understand, like, I have more opinions at this age now when I watched it. And not once during the movie did I think, huh, I hate Sully. Or, huh, Sully's out of character. Not once. I love Sully. Sully's one of my favorite characters ever. I love him so much. He's the sweetest little thing. I love him. Mike Wazowski, I actually like more than Sully, but only like that much. It's not like Woody and Buzz, where I'm like, Buzz is so much better. Sully's selfish in this movie, but he's like 18. Like, they just got to college, so he's like 18. And I think as an 18-year-old, his character makes sense. I like that he's an asshole, but it's like almost like, and like, I like that he's conceited, but it makes sense. Like, he's actually good. So he's not just being conceited and he's not good. Like, it balances well. I also think if you watch Monsters, Inc., Sully's conceited there too, but he's more likable. Once again, watch the movie. He's at the number 1 of the scare charts, and he's kind of cocky about it. He's like, oh, doing it again, Sully, huh? You're still breaking the like, record. And then Randall gets to the top, and Sully's a little mad about that, and he wants to beat it. Like, he's conceited in Monsters, Inc., but it's just, he's a little more humble. And he's not obnoxiously bragging. He's nice to people, but in Monsters University, he's not a dick, really, to everyone, at least. It's just that, honestly, Mike actually provoked him more, if you think about it. And I like that Mike is jealous. And I like that Mike is friends with Randall a little bit in the beginning. And I like that that drives it a bit more. And it makes sense because Randall actually goes after Mike more in Monsters, Inc. And it's probably because, I mean, obviously they didn't have this in mind, but it works well, and it once again makes sense. Like, they made a backstory that made sense, kind of like with Toy Story 2. Like, Woody's backstory makes sense now. Oh, I think it was great writing. I love the characters. I love the humor in this one's really funny to me. I think it wasn't too obnoxious. It's not like in your face. And it's very sarcastic, especially with Mike being... Because Mike is actually... People say Sully's the main character in Monsters, Inc. Yes, but I actually think it was pretty even. There's a lot of scenes of Mike alone in Monsters, Inc. So I felt like people were like, oh, this is his time to shine in Monsters University. I'm like, he actually had a lot of drive, and he was actually a lot of the main plot, like, pushing points in Monsters, Inc. Like, a lot of the things that continue the story are from him. So I actually feel like he's pretty equal. But yeah, we didn't get a lot of like Sully's perspective in Monsters University, so yeah, I also like that it ended with them not doing great. Like, they had to work from the bottom up, and I think that's very nice. I also like that it showed that Mike didn't have to, like, even though he really wanted to, he just couldn't be scary. Like, that's it, but he still found a way to work around it. I would put it there. Controversial, but I'll put it there. Inside Out. Saw that in theaters. I actually paid for it. I still have the ticket stubs. I should show you my ticket stubs at the end of this. I have the ticket stubs. I don't have it from Monsters University because I saw that with my friend. Same with Brave. I started collecting ticket stubs around 2014, so... But I have the Inside Out ones. I saw Inside Out with my mom? Yes. My mom? And I think my stepdad. Yeah, I loved it. I think this is when I started getting into like the PIXAR theory and stuff, and watching reviews and things like that. So it was nice to see Like, I remember after I watched it, I went and watched people's reviews because I just wanted to see what other people thought. So this is when I started, like, gaining perspective of what other people think of movies. And I loved it. I like seeing people's theories about it. I loved kind of diving into the Pixar, like, community. It was so fun. Riley's adorable. She's a little annoying, but it's fine. I think one thing I don't like about it, which is very minimal, is I don't like that it feels like Riley's like a hollow shell. So I feel like, which I makes sense, but it feels weird. That's the one thing I just don't like about it. I actually wish we had more Riley perspective. Like, I wanted to see, like, so she had Boy Band Island. Well, I think that was afterwards. But, like, for example, like, if she had Boy Band Island before, I wish we saw her lose interest in Boy Band Island. Like, because a lot of times the thing would just collapse, but we don't have her, like, almost reaction to it. And when we do, it's very abrupt. I kind of wish we saw reactions of other people from her reaction. Like, let's say she's with her friend talking on the FaceTime thing, and they're talking about the boy band, and then we see her going, oh, I don't like them anymore, like, kind of being a bitch. Like, I kind of wish we had more of that. I wish we had her in school a little more and seeing how she dealt with that. I felt like we spent almost too much time in the mind, but I'm okay with it. Like, it's not necessarily a complaint, it's just more things I wish we could have had. But I love it. Joy's annoying, but it makes sense. She's kind of supposed to be. Like, I would say Joy's our antagonist for the most part. She's almost the villain, but, like, she's like the anti-hero, kind of. Like, she's unknowingly being the villain. And Joy's kind of, I mean, Sadness is kind of our protagonist. And Riley's more like the outer affecting thing. I liked the humor. I laughed a lot. Loved it. I want to put Monsters Inc. in S. I mean, Monsters University in S. I actually watched Monsters University so much. Inside Out's more creative. I'll put it here. It deserves it. Oh. This is controversial. I like The Good Dinosaur. I like The Good Dinosaur. This is what I say when I mean I'm not anti-new Pixar. If anything, I love new Pixar. I like The Good Dinosaur. So my story with The Good Dinosaur is I didn't see it in theaters because, like, a lot of people said they didn't have a lot of advertising. I remember I think I saw trailers, but I didn't know it was Pixar, I think. I think I skipped the trailers. Like, I didn't know it was a Pixar movie. I like The Good Dinosaur. I watched it, I think, in what's it called? Redbox? Like, I think we rented it. But it was like a little while after, because it was around the time when they were doing that. But I remember watching it, and I liked it. Did I love it? No, but I definitely like it. I rewatch it. I watch it a few times, actually. I don't see a lot of the complaints don't make sense to me. Like, if you didn't like it, that's fine. But a lot of people are like a lot of the points are, I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of the points, to be honest. Most complaints are just that it's boring, or that they don't like Arlo, or like, oh, Arlo's annoying, the plot doesn't make sense. The plot is basically that it reminds me a lot of kind of Ice Age. So, like, Arlo, he goes with his dad. His dad tries to teach him things. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't really remember the reason leading up to things. I remember mainly when he meets Spot, because I think that's when I started liking the movie. So he has to put his print on the wall. He has to earn things. I like his siblings. I wish we had more with them. But it reminded me of Brother Bear, where they have to, like, they get the love thing. So, like, the main character, I forgot his name. I only remember Coda. He gets the bear, and it's the bear of love. And he's like, oh, that's gay. Like, that's basically what he's doing. And so it reminds me of that. I think he goes with his dad to fish or something, and his dad dies. Traumatizing. I cried. The dad was a bitch, but I cried. it made me sympathize with Arlo. People are like, oh, Arlo's so crying, he's so annoying. His dad just died. Of course he's annoying. He's a brat. He's like 10. He's a child. He's Riley, basically, just boy version. Riley's crying all the time, too. But we get to see her, the emotions shutting down and stuff. That's why she's crying. Okay, his dad died. Of course he's gonna cry and whine a lot. But he meets Spot. Spot is trying to find his family. Arlo's trying to get home. That's the movie. What do you mean, where's the plot? We get to meet weird people along the way, kind of like an Ice Age. They get high off of these berries. That's like the funniest scene to me. I loved it. I think Spot's cute. I love the whole circling the family thing. I do wish there was more to it. Like, I get it's not like a great movie. It's basically like it has its structure, but there's not a lot filling the structure. So, like, it's kind of like a wonky tent. Like, it's not fully built yet, but I saw what they were going for, and there's a lot of behind-the-scene reasons why it didn't end up well. A lot of people don't like the design. I actually thought the design was kind of cool to have, like, these cartoony characters on realistic background. I thought that was on purpose. I thought it was kind of cool. I love Spot. I think he's an adorable character. It reminds me of, like, Brother Bear mixed with Ice Age mixed with the Croods. Like, that's kind of reminds me of. I like it. I'm gonna put it. I think that's better. Yeah. I like the story feels more structured than Up. I feel like Up is a bit of a mess. And I respect the mess. I just think it's messy. Good Dinosaur, I feel like there was a linear path, kind of, you know. Finding Dory, I did see this in theaters with my grandma because she loves Pixar. My grandma loves The Good Dinosaur too. It's on TV a lot, and I always see her randomly just watching it. She watches it in Ice Age. She loves Ice Age. We love Ice Age in this household. I've seen all 4. Yep, I said what I said. I saw all 4. There's no more after that one. Finding Dory. It's like a mixed opinion on this one. I've noticed. A lot of people don't hate it. They just think it's unnecessary once again. Agreed. I mean, any sequel's unnecessary unless there's a book and there's like already a story out there. I think though it didn't need to happen, I like that it happened. I actually think it's a really good story. I found that Dory wasn't annoying to me. Some people thought she was. I don't. I felt like she was very in character, and it just felt like we were, once again, watching the side character from their perspective. She felt in character, and a lot of it made sense. Baby Dory's the cutest thing to hit the internet. Everyone had it as their thumbnail, including me. I can quote this movie a lot, actually. I liked Henry. My God, did I forget his name? Is his name Henry, right? The octopus. I liked her friend, the whales. I liked that they kind of all had disabilities, but it wasn't like in your face. I like that the little shell pebble scene made me cry. The ending's a bit crazy, a bit wonky, a bit unnecessary. That takes it down a peg for me, but not like too much. It just kind of felt unnecessary. I liked Nemo and his dad. I liked Marlin and Nemo. I like that we went to the aquarium, but it was like a good aquarium where they helped the fishes. Like, they weren't glamorizing aquariums. It was more like a reasoned aquarium, basically. Like, it had purpose. I thought that was cool. I like the seal scene. That was really funny. Yeah, I don't have much I don't like about it except the ending. I thought it made me laugh, and it felt like a genuine sequel. It felt like it followed up well from Finding Nemo, and it even though it wasn't necessary, if I watched it now, if Finding Nemo was new now and this came out as well, I wouldn't feel like it was just like a cash grab. Like, it felt like it because I think the issue with Cars 2 is Mater didn't have like anything about him that made me that like it was like they had to come up with something for him. While with Dory as a character, her memory loss was a big mystery that we didn't have the answer to, but like we didn't question it much, but there was a question there. Like it wasn't like I was going, oh, how did she lose her memory? But then they brought it up and I'm like, oh, that actually, how did she lose her memory? Like it was kind of like you don't question it, but if someone brought it up, you're like, oh, I really don't know. And I think there were theories on her memory on the internet before that, so I think having it answered is interesting. Like having her backstory, like where are her parents? Do her parents miss her? Do they wonder where she is? How do you find someone in the ocean? There's no navigation. Like, I actually thought it was great. I liked it. I'd put it here. I watch it a lot. I liked it. Now we have, oh wait, sorry. Cars 3. My bad. I thought we were at Coco. Cars 3, I was actually excited for, as was like a lot of the internet. I thought, okay, we're back to the character of Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen is one of the most interesting, and him and Woody are such interesting leads because they're assholes, but like you kind of do root for them. And I liked his character development. I liked the new race car girl, but I don't remember her name. That says a lot, doesn't it? I liked it. I liked it more than I feel like most people liked it. I watched it on Thanksgiving. When did it come out? I didn't watch it in theaters. Yeah, I watched it Thanksgiving that year with my mom. Like, we watched it in the living room eating Thanksgiving food. I think I just bought it and like the DVD, and I was like, oh hey, well, I haven't seen it yet. I think because around that time I was probably going to like a concert and stuff, so yeah, like it was good. I not much to say about it. It was just like a training. It was basically the first movie, but instead of an asshole like finding his roots, it was and like retraining in a different way. Basically, it was a girl confused and like wanting to be a race car driver, but like, you know, like he helps her. I think if you like, it felt like a very athlete movie, and I don't really like athlete movies. Like, oh, helping this kid, kind of like Mike, or no, like Mike's different. Like, kind of like, let's have this kid train to be a boxing champion. It was very Karate Kid, but I never really liked the original Karate Kid. I only liked the new one because I like I liked Jaden Smith a lot as a kid, and I still do, but I just kind of like that version. I thought it was very fun. I also love Japan, so I think because he went to Japan, I was like, oh, cool. So, yeah. I'll put it here. I liked it more than most people liked it. I hate that we didn't get a lot of Sally. What the fuck? Where's Sally? Where's Sally in these movies? She was so cool in the first movie. And the lack of Mater was actually made the movie... It wasn't funny. It wasn't a funny movie. You know what? It wasn't funny. Where's the humor? Coco's funny. Coco's one of the saddest movies ever, but it was funny. We watched Coco in theaters. It was great. I remember I was a bitch that day, though. Like, I was just like... I forgot what happened. But then we went to see Coco, and all was well. Coco. I'm Hispanic, but I'm not Mexican. But you know what? Any Hispanic representation, you know, brings a lot. I went to see it with my mom and my grandma. And I think it was kind of just beautiful to see my grandma's reaction to it. Because, like, I feel like as I forget, like, she didn't grow up with much representation. And I felt like it hit something in her, too. I remember hating the Frozen mini film before. We were all just kind of like, when is this ending? I almost forgot about that, but then I just thought about it because I was remembering us in the theaters, like, when is this ending? And I like Frozen, but it was annoying. But yeah, like, just watching it with my family was nice. And the songs are beautiful. Miguel is just so sweet. I hate the, like, aunt's reason. Like, she's the aunt, right? Great aunt, God, what do you call her? I don't remember. I'm bad with names. I remember I hated her. At the movie, still hated her. I hate the whole we don't like music because, like, oh, it's just, oh. But I ignore it because they needed a plot device. I love the reveal. I was over here like, oh my goodness, what? Poison in a Pixar movie? That was crazy. That was such a great reveal. I love Coco. I watch it a lot. A lot of people haven't seen it. A lot of people I know haven't seen it. I make them watch it. I'm like, you guys gotta sit and watch this movie. It's so funny. I'll put it here. Wait, no. Where'd it go? Between the Toy Stories. Beautiful movie. Incredibles 2. I loved it. Okay. The week it came out, everyone loved it. Everyone was like, wow, a great sequel for once. 4 years later, people are like, oh, it was horrible. What? I don't understand. I thought we all loved it. I don't know why people want to be like, it's great, and then once they let it simmer, they're like, actually, it wasn't that great. I love the short film in the beginning. I forget what they're called. It was so cute. The little dumpling. It was so cute. Oh, the umbrella one's one of my favorites, and that was before Monsters University, the red umbrella. I actually cried during it. Oh, I'm such a crybaby. I love The Incredibles. We got so much more Violet. I love Violet. She was my childhood crush, so continue to adore her. I didn't predict... Well, okay, so this is the one thing I've learned. I don't watch theory videos anymore because it ruins things, because people can predict things very easily. So everyone predicted the villain. If I didn't have that prediction, I probably wouldn't have guessed it was her. So that kind of ruined the reveal for me. Because the whole time I was like, oh, everyone pointed out it's probably going to be her. So now I'm looking for it. So that annoyed me. But that's like my fault. I shouldn't watch. I've learned to not watch theory videos before I watch a movie. Because people were like dissecting and reacting to the trailer. And I loved everyone's reaction to trailers. I love it. It makes me more hyped too. It's a little girl bossy. It felt like they just wanted to make her Mrs. Incredible Helen the lead. Just because she's a girl. That's the one thing I don't like about recent Pixar is they really want to like girl boss the like. There was no reason for her to be. They like literally pulled it out of thin air to make that the reason. Like, I feel like if the timing of female empowerment wasn't out at that time, she wouldn't have been the lead. I guarantee it. And I know it isn't. I'm not saying like I don't want her because I loved it. She was great. But like it kind of felt forced. That's the issue. If it was like a different movie and we didn't have these factors, like I wouldn't, because it didn't work for her character. Her character was fine being a mom at home, and a lot of moms are fine. Like a lot of moms choose to be stay-at-home moms. It's the moms who are kind of stuck being at stay-at-home moms that don't like. That's where the issue is. She was very fine not being a superhero. You know what I mean? She's like, hey, I'm with my kids. I'm taking care of them. And when she needs to be a hero, that's what I liked about her as a character. Like, it didn't feel like she was reluctant. Bob felt... The reason even Bob was a hero was because he never wanted it taken away. Even at the wedding, like, everything... It didn't work for her character. But I'm not mad about it. I'm only critiquing it right now because that was the one thing I'm like, it felt forced. I wanted more Frozone. I felt like he was only really at the end, and like he had a few comedic moments. I didn't like the forced callback to the super suit. It felt cringe. I was like, oh, funny. A lot of people think Jack was forced. Probably, but I didn't mind it. I liked the funniest scene to me was at the diner, and when Dash goes, is she having adolescence? Dash, that's also one thing I hate, that Dash was like barely in this movie, because Violet and Dash were like my favorite parts of the movie. I think it was great. I think I'll put it here. Here. I think it was perfect. The only thing is more Dash, less Helen, female boss. Like, and it was very in your face. It was just so in your face. I'm sick of it. You don't need to make every female character a badass. Like, it's fine. We want soft female, like, too. You know what I mean? I loved it. Toy Story 4. Even watching the movie, I was disappointed. Even watching it. Like, sometimes people let things simmer and then they don't like it. I felt like most people liked Toy Story 4. And I, throughout the movie, didn't. I did not. And I've watched so many videos dissecting Toy Story 4 on how bad it is that it made me dislike it even more. Because I don't even think I bought the movie. Like, I still buy Pixar movies. I still don't think I bought it. That says something. I hate Bo Peep. She's Helen's character development times a million in the worst possible ways. Like, also Helen's character development, because the movie takes place the same day at the end, so it didn't even feel like Helen progressively became more wanting to be a hero. It's just like, oh, suddenly she's back to, like, Helen to me was like, oh, she had fun as a hero during her young 20s, but now she wants to be a mom. Like, so yeah. But anyways, Bo Peep's the epitome of the worst girl boss badass trope. The most unnecessary, because her outfit, as soon as I saw that, it bothered me. Her outfit bothered me so much. And I know it's a small thing, but it really pissed me off. Because not once did I ever think, because she was already cool. I liked Bo Peep. And then they made her annoying. She is so manipulative to Woody. I felt actively bad for Woody throughout this movie. And I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. What they did to Buzz. One of my favorite Pixar characters. What they did to Buzz. I'll put it there. What they did to Buzz, just, it hurt me. You did not have to do him that way. Also, why did they ignore that Buzz and Jessie are dating? They're clearly dating. It's shown in the like little short films. Why are they not actively like hoo-haing? If this movie's about romance, focus on the couple, or at least acknowledge the couple that already exist. Ugh. Also, they made Mr. Potato Head an asshole again because the voice actor died, so he like barely exists in this movie. And when he does, he's just a jerk. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Onward! Oh, and that ending. Onward is underrated. So Onward came out during the midst of literally the month COVID exploded in America. So poor Onward. I don't think it was going to do great anyways, but it probably would have done better if COVID didn't happen. Onward is amazing. Stop sleeping on Onward. Onward is like one of the sweetest movies I've ever seen. I loved it. It was such a cute brother movie. I love this movie. It's Bart and, my God, what's his name? It's been a hot minute. Sorry. Bart and not Bart. Ian and Barley. God, Bart. Is this The Simpsons? Ian and Barley. So sorry. It's not, it's just they don't really, I feel like they don't say their names that much. That's the only reason. I love the world they created. I love that it's like, it acknowledges technology, but it's not in your face. I do think there's some jokes that probably won't progress very well, like in the future, like, it'll kind of be outdated, but like not too much. They didn't focus too much on it. So it's not much to say because it's a very simple story, but I just love that neither of them hate each other. Ian's so relatable too. I love that Ian is nerdy and stuff, but it's not overly done, and I relate to him a lot. Like, he tries to ask these people to a party. This scene really stood out to me. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great movie. He asks these people to a party, and they're very cool, but they're not mean to him. They want to go to the party. I thought that was really cool. They could have done a cliche where they're like, yeah, sure, and like make them not show up at the party. I thought they were gonna do that, but no, they're like, oh yeah, what time should we go? Like, it's his own anxieties that make him think people don't like him, and I like that they made that clear, because a lot of times a character will be anxious and then the people are mean to them, and it kind of just, I don't know, it just, they did it so well. I like the mom. I like this, that there's the stepdad, and the stepdad's not mean. Like, a lot of things are just done well. The characters are great. I like the movie. The ending, oh my god, it made me cry. Ugh, I love that ending. Onward's amazing. Watch Onward, please. If you haven't, watch Onward. It's so good. I don't think I need this anymore because I remember. Okay, Luca is so... No, Soul. Soul's next. Soul, I like Soul. I watched it within 2 days because it was very slow. I felt like Soul didn't know what it wanted to be. And I felt like they had ideas, and it was like 3 different people working on like the story, and they just kind of put their ideas together. Because it kind of goes nowhere. And the ending bothered me. I felt like it was a very anti-Pixar ending. Like, Onward had an ending that breaks your heart, but it's realistic, and you're like, dang. And you're just like sitting there, and you're like, oh, dang, that ending. Oh, Onward's ending is gonna make me cry. Spoiler. Ian has a list of things he wants to do with his dad. Because he never met the dad. He was like a baby when the dad died, but Barley was like 5. So he has memories with the dad. So Ian has a list of things he wanted to do with his dad, as they like used magic to bring him back to life, but he's only his legs. So he can't speak to the dad. And then when he goes through all the things he wanted to do with his dad, he realizes that in his memories, he did all those things with his brother. So his brother raised him. And then at the end, he lets Barley speak to the dad, because this thing happens where only one of them really gets to go. And he lets Barley, who has met him and has memories with the dad, say goodbye. Because Ian has his dad with him. His big brother's his dad. Oh! But Soul just ruins the ending. Like, the ending of Soul does, in a way, ruin the messaging to me of the movie, where he gets to go live his life, even though he already accomplished his dreams. I wish he let... What's her name? 11? The girl? He lets her... Like, she... I kind of just wish it ended better. There's not much to say about the movie, because I just wish the movie was about him being a jazz musician. That would have been a great movie. I don't know. Maybe if we had more time in the human world with him in his body, I would have liked it more. I felt like we didn't get to really know his life before he died, to where I feel because we learn it along the way. But I wish I was more connected to him before we like went on the journey. I love the barbershop scene. I love the scene with the mom, and I wish we just I wish it was just about him and not, I don't know. But it was funny. I love the hell scene. Put it there. Luca! One of the best Pixar movies ever, and not just because it's queer. Not just because it's queer. I love Luca. And I do think it's a queer movie, because you can take it how you want it. That's how I see it. I saw it queer before, like, there was a lot of debate, and I watched it after I saw the debate, and I went in, because, like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's not gay. I thought it was gay, and that's my opinion. I love it. It's simple. It's beautiful. I love the design. I love the character. She's a little annoying, but it doesn't bother me. It's like a kid annoying. Like, she's a kid, so it's fine. there's not a true villain. I do think the ending was rushed, but it didn't bother me. Like, it didn't do much. Like, I wish the movie was a little longer and they, like, did more with the ending. Because it didn't have to be this short. If they added a little more, like, 10 minutes, I think they could have done more. Cried at the ending. All these new Pixar movies made me cry just as much as the earlier ones. Actually, no, because I never really cried. No, I did cry during Monsters, Inc. But, like, I was younger, so I cried when I got a little older. Even though I knew the ending, which is interesting. But it was so beautiful. To me, it's such a sweet, childlike, like, because people are like, why are you sexualizing kids? Do we not all agree My Girl is a romance movie and they're kids? So why is it different with Luca? Like, there are so many movies with kids falling in love and they're like 10. And sometimes they even kiss in movies. One of my favorite movies is... God, what's the freaking movie? What's her... Rosemary Telesco. What movie is it? Little Manhattan. Little Manhattan. The whole movie is about him being in love with Rosemary Telesco. They kiss in the movie. It's the cutest movie, and it has a very sad, realistic ending. And I watch it at this age, and I still see it as a love story. I thought it was beautiful. It's well done. And it's exactly how I see Luca. Because the whole movie, he's in love with Rosemary Telesco. And at the end of the movie, she has to move away. And that's what Luca is. It's the same thing. The whole movie is them going on an adventure during Manhattan. He joins karate for her. He builds and wants to get a Vespa with Alberto. He wants to do karate to get close with her. He doesn't care about this Vespa until he gets to know Alberto. He didn't want to. Like, he never heard of it. He learned this through Alberto. And the character in Little Manhattan, Josh's character, he, like, wants to do things with her. He goes with her to get a dress for this wedding. He goes to the wedding with her. Like, it's so cute. It's such a cute movie. They skate around Manhattan. Rosemary's parents are pretty absentee. Alberto's parents, they're not around. Like, and then at the end of the movie, Alberto gives up his, like, friend, his love interest, so he can go and learn with the girl whose name I forgot. In Little Manhattan, he has to say goodbye to Rosemary Telesco, and I just think people just don't want it to be gay. And I know the writer said it's not gay, but as I just said, it's the exact same plot as Little Manhattan, which is a love story. So I think it's gay. Turning Red. I love Turning Red. I love the music. I relate to Turning Red 1000% as I loved One Direction. And throughout this whole movie, I related to the whole thing. I related to it so deeply. It's such a simple plot. And then there's a red panda. Like, that's the whole thing. It's them trying to go to a concert. And I 100% relate to it. Like, it's not much to say because it's... I hate the mom in the movie, though. There's no justification to the mom. She's abusive. And I get that she's a tiger parent, like, but that doesn't excuse it, because I think tiger parents are abusive. I think it's great because it's realistic, but that ending was abusive. She literally called her daughter a slut, basically, to her face. And she tried to murder 16-year-old boys on stage. She called the music hoe music. Like, they're just saying, can't stop thinking about your girl. Like, they copy Super Junior's music, but it's okay. The mom, I cannot justify that ending. I love that, the boy was a fan. And people question why they forgave him quickly. I think that's realistic. They're like 12, 13? They're 13, like, that's how it works. You find it, I thought it was so realistic. I thought that the way her friend forgave her was realistic, just like, okay, we're friends. And then the way they forgave the boy, he didn't say sorry or anything. I think that's really realistic, actually. If they were like 16 or 17, I wouldn't, but like they're 12, and yeah, he was mean to her, and yeah, he was a little racist, but they're 12, and I feel like that's because I don't think it was racist out of hatred for like Chinese culture. I think it actually was realistic. I feel like he said it out of spite because he's a stupid kid, so it makes sense to me. I think he just wanted to upset her. You freaky temple people, like whatever he said to her. Like, I was like, yeah, that's something a 12-year-old kid would say who's very insecure because he's probably more flamboyant than he wants to let on. Not gay. He's a kid. Like I said, we don't know these people's sexualities, but like he's probably has more flamboyant tendencies, and he wears that's how I see him. He wears like that jersey stuff. Probably because he does like basketball, but he probably has a more feminine side to him that likes boy groups. And now he finally has people who he can have that side of himself with him while still enjoying basketball and stuff with his bros. And I thought that was actually great. What's his name? Tyler? Tyler. I think I kind of want a story on Tyler. I think Tyler was a very interesting character, and I wish we knew more about him. I wish these movies were a little longer to develop some of the characters more, because I want to know more about her friends. I love that she had a Korean friend. Like, I like that they had a variety of ethnicities, and the school felt very realistic, because they're in New York, right? And, like, if everyone was white, it wouldn't make sense. And I like that they have their little Chinatown. Like, everything felt so realistic. I used to live in New York, and I visited a few times recently. And the cultures and everything in New York, like, it felt realistic. No, they're not from New York. They're from Canada. I'm so sorry. They're literally, I'm sorry. But apparently, it's realistic. It felt like New York. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. It's from Canada. So, yeah. I love Disney and Pixar. I would like to do a Disney one, but I don't honestly watch as many Disney movies. But maybe I could. A lot of them would be like in the don't know category, cause yeah. But that's my ranking. Let me know how you would rank yours down below. And not much to say. If you watch this whole thing, congrats. But yeah, let me know your favorites. Let me know where I'm wrong. My favorite movies, this checks out, are Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Coco, Toy Story, Luca, Incredibles 2, and Inside Out. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 came out within the last 10 years. And 1, 2, 3, 4 came out during like the beginning era of Pixar. So I think that says a lot. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. More than half came out within the last 10 years, which is, I think, a pretty unpopular opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Baby, I'm ready for you.